Fox Tuesday. Seth Green and Giovanni Ribisi are the best of friends with the worst of dads.
My dad quickly closes the laptop every time I walk into the room.
My dad can clear his throat for 50 minutes of a 90-minute movie.
Now they're moving in.
Stay out of the bathroom between 3 and 4. That's my go time.
And there's no way out.
Your father made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
With scotch?
He said it was for dipping.
Dads, a new comedy premiering Tuesday at 8/7 Central on Fox.
You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's So You Think You Can Dance After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's So You Think You Can Dance After Show.
Yes!
There is the intro music. I love it. What's up, guys? I'm your host, AJ Gibson. Big is for doing. We're here at AfterBuzz Studios in lovely Hollywood, California, doing another live after show for So You Think You Can Dance. This is season 10, finale night. I'm sad and kind of excited to have Wednesday nights off. Sorry, guys. Joined by my lovely co-host, as always, Chloe West, to my right. How are you, Chloe?
So good, AJ. I'm going to miss you.
I'm going to enjoy my Wednesday nights. And Kristyn Burtt, I'm going to miss you.
Get out of here!
Kristyn Burtt, what's up?
Oh, I'm going to have Wednesday nights off, but I'm going to be back Tuesday nights with Dancing with the Stars with my friend Jake.
And which leads us to the one, the only, Jake DuPree.
Hi.
Hi. That's it.
That's all you get tonight.
You guys.
That's it.
We had a big couple of guests in studio last week. We had to go big again this week to try to follow up the one, the only Neil Haskell. How are you?
What's up?
Who is recovering, perhaps, maybe not from the after party last night?
Yeah, it got pretty wild. It was fun.
We might get into that later. If you guys at home want to hear about that stuff, we might talk about it later.
Maybe.
I tried to get all the scoop off camera ahead of time.
Yeah, tweet us if you have questions. All right, you guys, let's get into this episode. First off, as I like to start every single episode, Jake knows, we have to talk about Kat Deely.
Yeah.
She looked hot.
So good. Her hair was amazing.
She looked like the Empire State Building, which I love.
Art Deco.
Yeah, very much so. The dress was hot.
Silver and gold.
Amen. She nailed it. Because every now and then she kind of tries some new things, and every now and then it doesn't work.
They always work.
It always works with Kat.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay. When I say it doesn't work, it doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't work like Mary's
Hair.
Texas hairdo, like that. It just doesn't work.
Wig.
Kat Deely, she's either like a 12 or an 11 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
tonight she was definitely a 12.
And I think she might even look like a little Emmy, maybe.
Yeah, she did look like.
Bringing it all back.
She needs to
right
win.
there.
She does need to win.
We keep saying it, but this is her year.
This
I
is her
hope so.
year.
I agree.
And speaking of this year of So You Think You Can Dance, I would like to say, right now, that I'm really, really proud of this year. I thought it was one of the best seasons in recent history. I was so obsessed with the show in the early seasons, the middle seasons, and the last 2 or 3 seasons, I'm like, Since season 7, 8 and 9 for me were both kind of
It found its groove again, and I think that now that it knows what to do without a results show, which is, it found a rhythm again, but also this top 20 was spectacular. They chose well and great chemistry.
Yeah, it was awkward for the first episode when they had the kickoff, right?
Yeah.
Or the second episode,
And then they made
I guess
him
it would have
dance
been.
afterwards. That was horrible.
It's like, all right, would you like to dance? No, I'm out.
No, I'm
Let's
done.
go.
Like, what are they going to say?
See you later, Carlos. Yeah, it was sad.
Yeah, I'm happy to see they figured it out early on in the season, because I couldn't have gone through another season like last year. Last year was rough.
Props to Nigel for taking the criticism well on that one, because, he realized, he thought, well, it was a downer. We wanted to end up, but they listened to the fans.
If only they'll bring back the old stage for season 11. That would be nice.
That would be awesome.
stage.
I think it definitely needs some revamping for sure. I mean, it's a beautiful stage the way it is, but I think season 11, new start.
For those of you who don't know, if you didn't watch the episode, they did get a season 11. They found out about 5 minutes into the episode, according to Nigel. So that's pretty exciting. I feel like that really was when they found out. Because Kat looked genuinely surprised on stage. She looked kind of like, oh, I have a job for another summer.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. Fox hadn't officially confirmed it. I mean, they had privately told Nigel, and he was like, blah! And then all the reporters that were in the press room and everything had to go to Fox and go, is this true? Is this true? And then all the articles were written, and everyone had to do an update to say, yes, Fox said it is confirmed.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Good old Nigel. I know.
Wow.
The choreographers looked so
Just
excited. They all stood up and were like, yes, I have a job.
We were all sitting in like the green room upstairs, and we all started high-fiving all around. It was awesome. It was really special.
And the dancers. I mean, you have to think that any of these top 4, there's an opportunity for maybe one or all of them to come back as all-stars in the next seasons. Like, how shitty would it be for you to be in like season 10 and there's no 11? You'd never have a chance to come back. That'd be terrible.
Right.
That's true.
And I want to see more of these guys. I love this top 4, actually.
I do too.
I slowly fell in love with all of them by the end.
Aww.
All right. Also on the panel tonight, we've got Adam Shankman. We've got Paula Abdul back for her 3rd appearance this season, which is pretty awesome.
It's a big hair.
She looked great. She didn't have big hair,
hair,
but she looked good. And she had some really poignant comments tonight. I thought she was really on it.
Really? I'm so over Paula, and she's trying so hard to be a consistent judge.
I love
Paula Abdul, dude.
Yeah.
Come
She's
on.
awesome.
She is dance.
She's so awesome.
Would you prefer we bring back Zoe Deschanel?
No.
No,
Yeah,
I didn't think
exactly.
so. And also on the
but you
panel,
don't need
Twitch.
Oh, boy.
Twitch is everywhere this season. As he should be. It should be called So You Think You Can Twitch next season. I love that guy. And
I'd watch that.
And he and Allison are 2 of the nicest people I ever met.
Yeah.
Besides Neil.
Well, I haven't met you yet officially. Nice to meet you.
Hey.
But they were awesome guests last week, so it's always good to see Twitch on the show. You started off the show with a season 10 montage of kind of dances we've fallen in love with over the season, and then they did a top 20 performance.
With Jade at the bar, did you guys see it? He had just had surgery, so he was tending bar in that number.
But he did do the sand number.
I believe that was a replay from. Yeah, you didn't realize that.
I thought so because
Neil's like,
I was like, how is Jade dancing?
Well, they can't reset the stage for something like that at a live
that would
show
have been
with
way too
sand
messy.
And,
yeah.
Well, usually they do those numbers first, and they just play the tape that they taped from the beginning.
Same thing, but from the earlier. Yeah.
They're real tricky on Fox.
Yeah.
Real tricky.
But Jade is. I think he just had the surgery, so he's hurting right now.
Okay, that makes so much more sense because I was like, why didn't he come out with Melise? But he's in the sand number.
He couldn't even do his little end pose. I think that tells you how fresh it is.
Just for the night, can we call her Malice again? I used to call her Malice at the beginning of the season. I kept calling her Malice, so I didn't know who she was at first. I'm like,
Probably
Malice
wouldn't
Miller.
like that.
Yeah, probably not. Oh well, what are you gonna do? No, I love this number. I loved seeing it again. There were some really great group numbers this season. Like a lot of really memorable ones, and like week after week, I was like, it's like. You look back over past seasons, like you remember like the bench routine, or you remember the hummingbird routine, or there's always like a couple, but like there are a lot of really great routines this season, and like we compare it to when you're looking back, like are there really when you watch it episode by episode, but as you watch as a whole the entire season now, each season maybe had 3 or 4 big numbers, maybe the entire season. Some seasons more than others, but this season I felt like there were a lot of them, and the group numbers especially. We're just on point.
And 109 was the total number of dances they did this season.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a big number.
Yeah.
Incredible.
There's a lot of work put into it.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
I think we saw it last night though because a lot of the dances looked rough. You were like, did you guys not rehearse? Did you just try and go from memory? Like,
I didn't see that.
I didn't see it either.
thought it was
Chloe, what
great.
show did you watch?
Yeah.
are you kidding? Some of the lifts were like, you were like, the whole time I was watching, I was like scared for the girls. But I also felt like people's energy wasn't so much for that dance and saving their lives. It was just like, we're just performing.
Yeah,
It's
it's less competitive, and it's
Yeah.
more like, let's just go out here and dance for our
And have
moms.
fun.
Yeah.
Which is the only reason to dance. If
That
you
is the
ask
only
me.
reason I dance to make my mom smile.
I could see that in some people. I did notice. I felt like Jenna. She kind of dwindled for me a bit last night. I was kind of like,
She was a little off actually in the Mark piece, and I went back and
Yeah.
watched
She
the
was.
original and watched the because I was like, was that a mistake or was that?
Yeah,
not? I
she
think it
was-
was a mistake, but
She
More
was,
fierce.
especially in the walk. She did not give it as much hip and
Yeah.
rib.
She still did
as
a
she
pretty
did.
good job, though.
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah, she's great. I mean,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
great.
Okay.
Again, it's like it's like calling Kat Delia an 11 on a scale of 1 to 10. I mean, she was still awesome. But then on the flip side of that, I feel like Jasmine, I felt like she was on fire. Like having no pressure on her, she just let it loose. I thought she actually danced her couple of numbers better than she did last week.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So it was a great night all around. Let's talk about some of these numbers though. We've got Paul and Mackenzie coming back together. This was Paula Abdul's pick. It was a Mandy Moore number. Edge of Glory was the song they used. And I loved how Paula talked about love and this is a really cool theme of So You Think You Can Dance, and how it shows how the dance community is so different for the most part than like the world of acting or like other entertainment niches. They're very supportive of each other. and they express love through what they do. And for Paula to like talk about that, I thought that was really a great way to start off the show, especially with things the way they are in Syria and around the world right now. It's kind of things are touch and go. Yeah. On the eve of September 11th, like. You know, I thought it was really, really appropriate, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought this number was fantastic.
And I keep getting asked by everyone on Twitter, are they a couple, Mackenzie and Paul? I guess their Instagram feed is like lots of close romantic photos.
Well, Neil?
I don't have any insight into that.
But there have been a couple romances this season. We've heard about a few of them. So they're going on tour, you know, having a showmance. Not so bad. Who knows? Who knows?
So where does the tour kick off this season, or this year? Do you know?
I don't know where it finishes in Los Angeles. Okay. I don't know where it begins.
I think
but
it's Ohio, maybe.
October 1st is the kickoff date.
I feel like it is Ohio too, actually, my home state.
Yeah.
They were listening.
You should go and see.
Yeah, they're like, oh, AJ took his first dance class. You might as well go to Ohio now.
Yeah.
I took my first dance class 2 weeks ago.
Contemporary class, correct?
How'd you know that?
Oh.
Did you watch?
Twitch.
You watch our show? Okay, I just had a moment right now.
No, I watched it I watched last week's episode.
He was like, what am I getting into?
Yeah, really quickly, will you do something for me?
What's that?
Okay, I have a friend back home. Her name is Lindsay. I told Jake about this. I have a friend. Her name's Lindsay. She's incredible. She just got engaged. Oh. She's a dance instructor, one of my best friends from college. Her name is Lindsay Rehage.
Lindsay what?
Rehage.
Rehage?
Yes. Right. Give her a shout out for me, please.
Lindsay Rehage, you are awesome.
Aww.
We all love you.
Congratulations
on your engagement.
Thank you. You're literally going to make her day. She's like the biggest Neil Haskell fan on the planet.
Oh, fun.
And she found out you're coming to the studio. She was freaking out. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Not making her wait up till 1 a.m. to watch that.
Amazing.
So let's move on. Then they did this thing throughout the night. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I thought this one was really cool. They did like top 5 moments of dancers that didn't make it onto the show, and Shan was back, or not back, but they showed her clip again.
Horse milk.
The horse milk. Hashtag horse milk. That was one of my favorite things in the entire season, actually.
She's so sweet, too.
I kind of hope she comes back next season and like auditions. And, I don't know. I feel like she was a good.
Yeah.
She did well in Vegas too.
Yeah.
So.
I thought they were going to make her dance it with actual milk in the bowls, like horse milk.
Yeah.
Horse milk, whatever.
She's back with horse milk. Yeah.
She did pretty well, even in the hip hop number that we saw her do. She did okay.
It was was it the ballroom that she got eliminated in? I think it was ballroom.
I think so too.
Right. Yeah. I think she like made it through hip hop and then she got to ballroom and
so
was
what she needs to do is move to Salt Lake City for
or Glendale. Or Glendale.
Or Glendale.
Because apparently.
I mean, I think ballroom in Vegas is always the toughest because you are set up with somebody. I mean, most likely you're set up with somebody who has no idea what they're doing, and neither do you. Mind you, when I was doing it, I was sitting next to Faina, and I knew her from the New York auditions, and they're like, all right, pick a partner. I was like, and that's how I got through ballroom.
Nice. That was smart.
I mean, if you're sitting next to like somebody who has never done it either, then you have 2 people like completely fresh, and
What are your thoughts on ballroom? Because I always think it's the hardest thing out there because usually you're not paired with the ballroom dancer, and people struggle through it every single time that they're assigned to it.
I mean, I had my struggles with that on the show for sure. I opened up the season with a salsa number, and I got ripped apart.
But you made it through.
They're like, you have a nice smile. But no, ballroom on the show, I think it's definitely gotten so much better as the years have come along. Because when I was doing the show, like, I didn't even think to even like watch ballroom numbers online until like later on in the season and everything. And like the kids seem so much more prepared for it now. Yeah. You know, and they seem like they can really like dig into it, and they have like the style down a little bit more.
That breaks my heart because I felt like the one area the genre that did let me down this season was ballroom. I wasn't excited about it this season.
It's just hard.
Unless you do it all the time.
Yeah.
Right. Unless you're Paul
but I think
or
the casual viewer like me thinks that it's not that hard because we see Dance with the Stars and we see really cool numbers on there all the time that look presentable.
That's because you're paired with a pro.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like the blind leading the blind. Like you know.
On the show, yeah. Interesting.
What was your favorite moment from this season, Neil?
From this season?
Yeah.
The after party.
Yeah, no. When Anna Kendrick was judging, she was she's really hot. She's beautiful. First, let me just say that.
Hey, Anna.
But what's up? I think just having her on the show was great because she was such a fan of the show, and she was able to like flash back to like all these different moments for the contestants, and it really made it like seem she really cared about the show and all that sort of stuff. So that week that she was on, it was it was a really, I thought it was a really great week.
I thought they had really great guest judges the entire season. I thought that Wayne
Tyler
Brady was great.
Ferguson
Jesse
is
Tyler
always great.
Ferguson is phenomenal. Jenna Elfman is phenomenal. Christina Applegate. Like, they are all huge fans of the show. They knew what they were talking about, and they all added something. They all brought a little bit of humor or a little bit of wit that I really enjoyed.
And they did their research. If they weren't fans of the show, they faked it really well.
Like Erin Andrews faked it so well.
Yeah, I mean,
especially compared to Carly Rae.
And then when Jesse made fun of Carly Rae.
That was the best.
Oh my God.
Jesse.
He's adorable.
All right.
Naughty.
Then we move into the Blurred Lines number with Jasmine and Marco, a Ray Leeper number. I wrote down that I actually liked it a lot better this time around. I thought that Jasmine was on fire.
And I love that she picked it because this piece pushed her the hardest, and I was like, she's such a smart.
Well, just like she picked outside of her genre last week too. I think it's ballsy of her, and
She's strategic.
She was fighting, and I like that a lot. Again, like I loved it the first time around. I love it this time. She's channeling Janelle Monáe in this number, and I love like that.
I know.
You can do no wrong then, like in my book.
I just like her because she sees this is not like the end game for her. She sees ahead as the end game, and she's like, I'm going to show everything that I possibly can show that I can do. So when I go out there, everyone's like, she can do anything.
Yeah. She's probably already booked post-tour. That's how I feel about her.
She'll work no problem.
That's what I felt.
So multi-talented and beautiful and tall and gorgeous. So.
And you can tell, like, just the way that her brain works, like you said, like she seems so much more mature than even,
18.
Than her age. So I think that'll bode well for her.
Yeah.
So.
Did anybody when they were recapping a lot of the show and they showed her piece when she was holding her ticket for Vegas and she said like my turn? When I like watched that now, it hit me so hard for her. Like, whoa, that's how she was feeling this whole season. Was like, this is my turn. Like, I get to show you and everyone, like, I can dance. I can do it too. And she made it just as far. Like, she made it to the end with that attitude. Like, I love it. It, like, made me just love her even more.
Because it's a smart tactic to use to get the girls to vote for you, that heartbreak, and they can relate to it. But I also felt like it was pretty genuine. I felt like she really, when she came on the show, she was really hurting. And she was really just going through that. And it was a new experience. And I'm sure she was probably thinking in the back of her mind, oh my God, I know they're going to put me with Cyrus this season. We all thought it.
We were all waiting for it to happen.
They were going to make them dance together. Yeah, like,
he wasn't back, though. He wasn't back as a
He wasn't.
Yeah.
And she was sure there. And she got some, she is something else. And I didn't always love her, but I love her in her genre. And that's what she'll be doing for the rest of her career. She's not going to be doing these weird, obscure things that she's not good at, obviously. But like when she nailed a number, she nailed a number. Yeah. And she's memorable.
Yeah, I mean, but she extended beyond contemporary. I mean, she was great in hip hop, great in jazz. Like I thought.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like to me, like hip hop is just as much her genre as contemporary. From what I've seen, when she danced with Comfort, oh my God. Again,
it's my favorite.
I'm not gonna go there yet, but I've got some stuff to say about that one as well. We move on to Adam Shankman's pick. He picks, of course, Twitch and Fiction to dance together. It's a Luther Brown number. He called this. I mean, that is just crazy, right?
I made my boyfriend watch this, and then I rewound it. I'm like, let's watch that again. I was like,
guess what?
Can we do that down the street?
And he's like, what is that? And I go, do you know how hard that is? It's like so nuanced and everything. He's like, I'm like, it's hard. You try it. And
I made my boyfriend watch it too, for different reasons. Please get some of that swag, just a little bit of it, please.
Oh my God.
My boyfriend's got a lot, but I mean, Twitch and Fiction. Those dudes are they're unreal.
Great.
And again, I was watching for it too because I was like watching, I was like, I wonder if Twitch is going to take our note and give us a little bit more of a smile like Fiction does at that part where they kind of look over, they go, and they look back again. And because Fiction's like ear to ear smile.
Beaming.
Yeah.
And Twitch, no, he didn't do it. He stuck to Twitch. I was like, all right.
And like, props to Luther Brown. I know I said it last week when Twitch was here, but it's just a really well choreographed piece with both of them together, Twitch and Fiction. It was one of my favorites.
What I really wonder is how little is Fiction in real life? Because Twitch isn't that tall.
Yeah,
and he
pretty
looks
tall.
Huge. Twitch?
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude. He's not that tall.
He's not that tall though.
I'm
I was
6'5".
surprised.
He's like 6.
You're 6'5".
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right?
I wish I was 6'5".
Yeah. So, but I mean, so Fiction has to be like, I can't even imagine. Because he looks tiny next to Twitch.
Fiction's probably he's like 5'6".
Yeah.
That's
what I would guess.
I don't know, I haven't measured him, but
No, no, not yet. Awesome. No, I really like this. I thought it was interesting though that, and we called this way back in Vegas, that they're looking for the next Twitch. The show needs it. The show needs, and when we looked at the top 20, they didn't have a lot of really great contemporary dancers like they used to back in the day. They're trying to go for characters, and they had a lot of they had Blueprint, they had Jade, and they had Fiction, they had all these characters, and we called it like they're looking for another Twitch. The show needs it because they weren't sure if they're going to get season 11, and Adam Shankman called him the next Twitch. I'm like, I don't know if I would say that yet. But he's got personality for days.
Yeah. He's got time to develop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
You've got to have a character on the show. I mean, if Fiction was like, it didn't have his character, didn't have that name, it didn't have like all that, the girls would be like, "Who's Sam?" Like if you like you go by, like if you come in with a character and you come in like just a bigger personality of yourself, it just works so much better. So,
do you feel like that's evolved even more as the seasons have gone on to have more of a character compared to your season?
For sure. I think during my season, it was everybody just came in. Everybody was just so big and happy and beaming and everything, and the characters just sort of developed as the show went on, with depending on like the personalities of like the person you're dancing with and who you're paired up with. And I was with Lauren for the first 5 weeks, and I think we worked really, really well together, and it read very well on camera as well. So.
Wait, which Lauren were you with?
Lauren Gottlieb.
She's a friend of mine. She's a friend of ours. I've known her for years.
Did you see her Bollywood film?
No,
I saw it in 3D at the Rave Cinema.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I follow her all of her updates on Instagram and Twitter all the time. She's been out of the country obviously for a while.
She's doing well.
Who won your season?
Sabre Johnson.
That's right. I talked about her the other day. She's everything. She was something else.
You talked to Sabes?
No, I talked about her. Oh god, I've never met her in my life.
Oh.
No, you did the table number with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites ever.
So great.
So cool. Before we go on to this next number, let's talk about something, Chloe. You guys, the new comedies of Fox are almost here, and Chloe West is going to tell you all about them.
So Tuesday, September 17th, don't miss the premiere of Dads, the new Fox comedy from the creators of Family Guy and Ted. It's going to be Seth Green and Giovanni Ribisi are the best of friends with the worst of dads. And when the dads decide to move in, there's no way out. It's the premiere of new comedy, Dads. Then you have the right to get excited about Andy Samberg in the show critics call the best new sitcom of the fall, which Neil is very excited about. It's Fox's new comedy, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the new office comedy about the law without the order. Andy Samberg and Andre Braugher star in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, premiering after Dads next Tuesday, only on Fox.
Woohoo! Fox, bringing us some comedy again this season.
I'm excited. Fox's comedy is always good. I love New
Girl.
Girl.
The best shows. Seriously.
And well, unfortunately, one of my favorite comedies of last year did get canceled, Ben and Kate. But Kate is the new Anastasia.
Yeah, she's going to 50 Shades of Grey. Anastasia Steele.
Not a bad turnaround in the matter
Charlie
of a year.
Hunnam. Yeah, lots of nudity.
Oh, I love nudity. Oh, easy, Chloe, easy. All right, so I thought this next thing was pretty cool. They brought back Dominic, and they brought back his crew from Battle of the Year, a new movie they have coming out, and they did a number. It was neat they brought back Dominic because I love him. He's got a huge heart, great personality from what I could tell on the show. What did you guys think about the number though?
That movie spent easily 3/4 of their marketing budget on So You Think You Can Dance, and I bet you they timed their premiere right for the finale because every commercial spot they had a commercial. And then
Step Up did that last year too.
10 minutes of this, the dance was really cool. I liked it. I thought it was cool, and it was just awesome to be able to see that. But I was shocked with how long they let it go.
Yeah.
Corporate dollars. I mean, that's what happens. I mean, they've done it with Step Up before, and it's smart promotion.
You know what it did for me? It reminded me how great the So You Think You Can Dance dancers actually are, because I don't like that style of dance. I don't really like it. I love symmetry and I love balance in dance, and that's not how this is at all. And I'm like, it's too dirty and weird for me. I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They're super talented. I can't imagine doing half the stuff they do. But I thought it was a little odd. It went on a little bit long for me.
It was just long.
The classic, hey, let's take the final four to the movie and watch this and that.
I hate when they do that to those kids.
It's like American Idol.
They pretend like they're actually shooting it as they're watching the film. They're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
We know how that works.
Yeah, it's American Idol with drink a Coca-Cola, here's your Ford.
Having said that, though, I do love Dominic, and I hope the movie does well.
September 20th.
Sure.
Awesome.
I do miss that. Didn't it make you guys miss when So You Think You Can Dance used to have guest performers on?
Oh yeah,
it made me miss that. Yeah, on the results nights, I was like, oh man, they used to have great performances because they would always make sure these people had great dance performances too.
Lady Gaga's first first performance on TV ever was on So You Think.
Yeah.
Really?
I saw Nia.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like she was like the backup to the. Like, she was the backup plan, and then she did that, and then everything exploded for
You know, her
her.
first performance of Poker Face was her first single, right?
No,
No.
Just Dance. That was the year before Poker Face, correct? I was there for that, and I was there the year she performed actually at White Party in Palm Springs, and I worked the event every year. A friend of mine owns the event, and he booked her for the following year. He's like, I think she's going to blow up. The very first time she ever performed was there. The gays went crazy, and if the gays go crazy, you know you're in. And she came back. He booked her for the next year for pennies, like literally pennies, and she was the #1 artist in the world the next year, and came back and stuck to her commitment.
That's
cool.
Pretty awesome, right?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's pretty incredible. I'm still Team Madonna, but whatever. All right, let's move on.
I don't think they're battling.
Nah, in my heart they are.
Everybody's battling.
Yes, exactly. Nigel finally he picks his favorite dance, and it's Anthony Margerato, right? Is that the choreographer? You're supposed to know these things, Kristyn. You're really good at these things. I'm not.
I was like, yeah, you got it.
I like to give the choreographers credit. We've had a couple on the show and we love them. Alexis and Aaron, Aaron and Curtis. Oh yeah, this is the tap number.
Yes.
Did Curtis grow a few inches? He all of a sudden looked a lot taller.
You look a little more
Maybe
manly.
he was in his man
I think we just have
muscles.
forgotten what he looked like, maybe.
I don't know. He looked like he's lifting a little weight.
Maybe he's drinking some creatine.
Maybe, yeah.
Squats.
Yeah. Are you a CrossFitter?
I am.
You just did a CrossFit move right there. You don't know so hard. Do you remember when I called it like back in like top 20 that Curtis was going to win the show?
No. You really liked him.
I really loved Curtis.
We loved him.
He's adorable.
When he came out and
He's
did that
sweet.
like Usher kind of number early in the season where he had like the suit and he has like I was like, what? What? He was like a boy until then, and then all of a sudden the number was really cool, and then he kind of just fizzled out.
He did the ladder dance, right?
Yes.
He did.
I love that. And then all of a
did
sudden
too.
at the end of the dance, they were like, "You ruined it with your shoulders," and I was like, "Okay, coming from somebody with shoulder issues and dance, like he'll get past that." But I thought he did great in that dance.
Yeah.
And then I think he left that week. I was so
I
sad.
believe he did too. Yeah.
Oh, Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis.
But I thought Aaron was fantastic.
Aaron is great.
I just always watch him. He's amazing.
He shined in that number too. So
Maybe
He
Curtis
seems so
could-
comfortable, Aaron.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
especially
again,
last night, just comfortable.
No
like,
pressure.
Yeah, easing into everything.
Yeah, awesome. Then we move on to Twitch's pick. He has this was an interesting pick for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
did Twitch really
I
pick
don't
this
think
one,
they
or is
did.
this what was
I
left
don't
and they
think
told
he
him?
did.
does anyone? Do you know? Did they tell them? Did they assign him?
He
Maybe.
didn't pick
Oh
it.
no, they totally picked them.
Okay, exactly. That's what we thought. Wink,
Absolutely.
wink, wink.
Because I'm like, the little I know, Twitch, I can't imagine you picked Haley and Nico. What was the Kiss of the Spider Woman?
But this was a good number, and I kind of had forgotten about it. But that
too.
leg lift over, I can watch for days.
Yeah.
But
And
they flubbed that one lift.
Yep.
though.
I know.
Yes.
See,
I was upset. But, I mean, for the people that probably hadn't seen the dance before, it was probably like, oh, amazing. You know?
when this dance started, though, it did trigger in my head, like, oh, how fun is tour going to be this year?
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to see numbers like this on tour. So
Yeah.
that's what this number did do for me.
It gave some variety to the night, and it was a little different. And I was just like, I wrote down, I'm like, really? His favorite of like the entire season of Twitch? I'm like, there's no way he would pick that.
No. I think Jasmine's number with Comfort was his favorite.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people would probably pick that number, though.
Oh, yeah.
But they're like, we need to get Haley and Nico on stage somehow and remind people that they're going to be on tour.
Yeah.
Nico killed it in the opening number. I loved in the opening number when they spotlighted everyone, and Nico's turns, you were like, whoa.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: like
He's
they had
great.
a few like Nico, and then also Tucker. Like they had some phenomenal dancers this season that just. Again, they weren't those characters, though. They're wonderful dancers, and they could do things that fiction could only dream of, or Aaron could only dream of.
Yeah.
However, they're just not the characters. They don't have the story.
And you have to be relatable to.
Although Tucker almost died, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be relatable to the middle states. You
Yeah.
know, you have to be relatable to all those people, and if you aren't, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And Tucker, I feel bad for Tucker. I feel like he was sort of Jenna's backup dancer for the first few weeks.
Which is so funny because Jenna was like bottom 3 consistently.
Yeah.
It was weird how that
But she was
partnership
so
played
good,
out.
though.
She was so good.
She is so good.
Yeah.
It's so crazy that she
We
was on
kept
the bottom
saying,
of
like, why isn't she resonating with everyone at home? But I think it was that, like, pow, pow, pow in your face. Like, it was almost maybe too strong.
Yeah, like if you're too good or too like, it's sort of like in baseball. If you are too good, people will suspect you're doing steroids or something.
yeah.
If you're too good on this show at everything, people will be like, "Oh, you're too trained. Like, we don't need to vote for you. Like, you got this, you know."
And she seemed rather confident. I think she is a girl that she knows who she is. She knows her talent. She believes in it. And I think sometimes that comes across on camera. It doesn't read as like, "Oh, vote for me." You know, and people just didn't relate. And I heard it over and over from everyone that was even commenting on our show. It's kind of amazing.
Really fierce girls almost never win the show. Like, it's always like the girls who are great dancers, but like they're kind of like relatable, like Melanie or like Lauren Frodeman, or like it's those types of girls that always win the show. It's never the Jasmines. It's never the, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm glad Amy won. I love her. I mean, she's great, but she's very likable. Like girls, like teenage girls in Ohio, like her.
Yeah.
And
not even
she
in
could
Ohio, though.
She could be their best friend.
Yeah.
Not even
exactly.
in Ohio, though. Like, I wouldn't have voted for Jenna. I would have voted for Amy over Jenna. Like, I felt what everybody was feeling with Jenna. I wasn't gravitating towards her. Where someone like Jasmine or Amy, I was like, ooh, like there's something about them I really liked. Although when Jenna did the number with Mark, it was fine. It was the first time for me I was like, ooh, okay. Like, I was like,
but we needed
weird,
that
girl.
number 4 episodes earlier is what it was.
Yeah, it really is all about timing on the show. There's a lot of luck and a lot of timing involved. You have to get the right choreographer and the right partner at the right time, or it's just too little, too late.
Saw it with
and
Elise.
you can't peak too soon either. It's always, you have to have the story. You have to have the arc that reaches over the entire season, that you peak just at the end.
You got to be the underdog.
Yeah, exactly.
Except Fiction
Except
and
Fiction.
Amy weren't the underdog.
No, Amy, I feel like Amy was. I thought it was pretty clear that Jasmine was going to run away with this thing from about midway through the season on.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that from literally day one when I saw her audition. I thought that
I was
she
kind of shocked that
there.
Amy won.
You know, as a contestant, do you get frustrated if you feel like, oh, they're getting like their style all the time, or? I mean, is there
as a contestant, looking at the other contestants? Or?
Yeah, when you're in it and when you're on the show, do you ever get frustrated like, oh, that person keeps getting like their style or the best numbers?
As a contestant, you're always in your head about like, oh, what are the producers trying to trick us into doing, or like, or what are they trying to like manipulate? And they aren't. They're just, you're picking the dances out of the hat and all that sort of stuff, and it's not being manipulated. But if somebody gets lucky and they get to do jazz 4 weeks in a row. Not jazz, but like a jazz and then a contemporary and then like a Latin jazz, or like, you know.
The dance gods are smiling.
Yeah, yes. You heard that a lot. Melanie season, they're like, she got contemporary every week, and you know.
But
it is, you are picking.
It's not her fault.
No, it's not her fault.
She's so good at it.
She's incredible.
We've got about 15 minutes, guys. Let's get through some of these dances so we can talk to Neil a little bit. I know we have some questions for him from our viewers. We've got Aaron and Catherine back together with the SYTYCD number. I'm Kissing You, the theme song from Romeo and Juliet. I mean, just.
I mean, any dance to that song, really. Like, I'm gonna love it.
I could tell that he was kind of feeling like a really like.
Oh yeah.
He wanted a little kiss a little bit. I think.
At the end, she kind of like this, kind of giggled and turned her head at the very end.
Yeah, she was like, whoa.
She's like, my boyfriend's watching.
And Aaron kind of ripped throughout the season because he was kind of like the big chubby guy at the beginning of the year, like compared to dancers.
Chubby? Are you kidding?
Compared to dancers, he's built like me. I'm like, whatever. But like everybody else, like ripped. And you notice when they do like shots of like all the dancers and they have their shirts off with like the group number, it's him right here. It's buttoned right here, or they show him from here up, and they always show. They zoom right in on Fiction's abs, and they show Aaron from here up every single time.
Yep, I totally noticed that.
Yeah, absolutely. And they do it for purpose.
Even last night in the beach
There's a huge
number.
height difference between the two of them.
Please.
No, but in the beach number, I'm going to say it right now. In the beach number, Fiction's top was open, saw his abs, and Aaron's was buttoned up and just open at the chest.
And they had Aaron shirtless at one time. They put black tape stripped all over across him, like over like certain parts, and then had a jacket on him just so you could have like this much open.
They're killing me.
His body is phenomenal.
Oh, okay, all right.
He's got great arms.
He does have great arms. He's got really.
He has great arms.
They're pretty strong.
He has great arms.
He does not have a Fiction or a Neil Haskell six-pack, you guys. He just doesn't.
Show us your six-pack.
No, we're not going to put it on the spot like that. But afterwards in the confessional, whatever.
But if you wanted to, we wouldn't say anything.
Do it for Lindsay. Do it for Lindsay. All right, we've got top 10 guys performing. They did the sand dance, which Chloe thought was live. You guys, there's no way.
I did two for a minute.
It was still awesome. Yeah, Jade all of a sudden was healed. And then we move on.
It's a miracle.
We move on to Kat's pick, which I think is pretty cool.
I love that she got to pick.
Yeah.
And she picked my favorite.
Jasmine and Comfort. And Nappy Tab's number. I am a huge Comfort fan. She's my favorite girl of all time, probably from the show. And Jasmine brought it tonight because I thought the first time they did this number, I was looking at Comfort the entire time. And
really?
Oh, I was.
See, I
absolutely.
looked at Jasmine the whole time.
Not last night. I did. I was right on Jasmine.
Jasmine was way more hood the first time they did it, though. Like she just was given so much face in it, and this time she was just having fun.
Yeah, this time I felt like they really sat in the pocket, like they were super relaxed and just like whatever, like we own this.
Comfort always goes so hard though.
She's so good.
So good.
And she's gotten so much better. Like so much better.
I mean, I just don't think she had people gave her the respect she needed on that show.
Yeah.
She was on it the first time, and then when she came back in her season, like she got kicked off.
Yeah. Yes.
And then she came back, she stayed for a week, and then got kicked off again.
And when she got kicked off the second time, what did she finish on the show?
Like 8th, I think.
Yeah, not that great.
Yeah.
And to be an all-star, like one of the best all-stars.
So good.
Incredible, right?
Yeah.
Huh. That's back in their glory days. What season was she? Like
Season
5 or
7?
6?
7.
No, she was not 7.
6.
She was earlier than that.
She was 4 or 5.
Yeah, she was early.
Yeah.
I think she was like 6 then.
4 or 5. Definitely not 6 because 6
She
was the
wasn't
fall
4.
season.
She's not 4.
And Janine's season
Oh, I'm
was-
just going to look it up, kids.
Look
I
it up,
can't
find
take
out
it.
for us while I move on to Mary's pick. Mary picks Robert and Tucker. I love this number.
Yes.
Travis Walt, again, he's brilliant. He's a genius.
I was glad to see it again.
The medicine number.
Of course, they were gonna like choose the tweeting thing. Like they wouldn't choose the other one over this dance.
Yeah,
like, this
I
is
know.
like one of the most memorable
like
dances of the
95%
season.
of
Yeah, I know. Like, hello.
Way to make the viewers feel like they
would
had
you,
a
would
say
you
in
like to
this.
watch this one or the blank stage? Oh, let's choose it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm completely wrong. I'm like, she's definitely not 4. She is 4.
Yeah, I thought she was pretty early.
I was like, no. Yeah, she's season 4.
Again, this number is just
Chelsea
awesome.
Hightower and all that.
And I not because I just like men, but because I like seeing men dance together. You did the number of with the chairs.
me and Danny. The princes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think that's one of my favorite numbers of all time.
He did a dance with
With
Kent.
Kent, the
yeah.
I did
baseball.
2 with Kent.
With the
Oh, that's
baseball,
right, with
the
the
baseball bat and
The baseball bat and then the
Tank top
broken
and jeans.
friends. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like seeing like same-sex dances, whether it's
I do too.
guys or girls, because they didn't used to do a lot of that. And every now and then they throw them in there. I like seeing girls with girls and guys with guys every now and then.
It just
I
brings
love
a whole
it.
different dynamic. That
Yeah,
the
I
show's
think
not used to.
Nigel probably used to like stay away from that because
He's Nigel.
He's great. He was always trying to make it about like manly men and all
The
that stuff
masculine thing.
and I think that was good because it allowed the show to become what it was because people weren't afraid to be watching the dance show and the guys weren't afraid to be watching the dance show, and now you can have the guys dancing together because they've gotten past that. It's not even, but near the beginning of the series,
You're walking a
couldn't
fine
have had-
line.
Exactly.
We've
You
talked
can't
about that a
be-
lot on the show. Like it used to come across. I don't think he did it that much this season, Nigel. It used to seem like he was trying to because we know I have a lot of friends who have been on the show who are gay and they weren't gay on the show, and it kind of seemed like that was like keep that in the closet for the sake of the show. This season, it's not that really changed completely, but he wasn't so vocal about it.
I just think he gave up.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
he gave up on trying to do that. I mean,
What's
there's
the
no
point?
reason. There's no reason
Yeah.
to.
It's 2013.
Plus, you want these kids to be who they are, and
Exactly.
you want them to be a bigger personality of themselves. And if they're hiding something, then they're not going to be able to be the greatest person they can be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, how do you love your
Be who
potential if
you
you're
are.
Nigel gave a great interview to LA Times too. I tweeted it out today, but he talked a lot about like he feels like the show in 10 seasons has broken down a lot of elitism in dance, and that we're seeing all different types of people and styles and everything else. And I think the show
Everybody's
has done
respecting everybody else.
that exactly.
Yeah.
Super important.
And Robert and Tucker, another perfect example of how that, like, I feel like a man, like a straight man, could still watch this and like relate to that dance.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And it's not for me. It's never something. It's never about like, oh, it's hot to see guys dance together. For me, it's like really that story is so touching, and the way like they're bros, like they're just.
I watched it as if it were as it was.
Well, that's what they are in the dance,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
But yeah, I thought it was awesome. I'm really glad they brought it back. And then we move on. We move on to the Nappy Tabs top 20, putting on the Ritz. They
So awesome.
how cool
love
is that, and
this.
how impossible is that to do?
One shot.
That's insane.
It's really tough.
And everybody's dead on.
Yeah, it's pretty flawless. It's one of the most memorable dances ever from So You Think You Can
And it
Dance.
wasn't just the
For
dancers;
sure.
they had choreographers in there, they had judges in there, they had
Cameos.
everybody.
And,
Yeah,
it was so fun.
That's
Does
pretty
anyone
incredible.
know who choreographed?
What are you
us?
holding back right now? You're trying not to say something.
We actually didn't get to see that piece last night because we're sitting up in the green room. We're sitting up in the green room, and then we're watching the New York feed of it. And so we get the president's speech.
Oh, that's right.
So like up in the feed, we get the president's speech for like 15, 20 minutes, and then it goes back to what it was 20 minutes ago. But that's when we had to go back downstairs. So there was like a 20-minute chunk of the show that we were like, oh wait, no, we gotta go.
We totally missed it.
So-
My
They're
gosh.
rerunning the full finale on Friday night in case someone missed it.
Good.
So
I follow.
My mom missed it, and she had to call me this morning, and she was like, "Who won?"
Oh my gosh. No, that's funny. Then we move on to Jenna and Mark. All I wrote down was lips. It wasn't as good as the first time around for me, but maybe it's because I've seen it, so it was like.
And the first time was shocking.
The first time was, I mean, pure magic too.
Magic.
Because it was so. I mean, because it was so different than anything that's ever happened.
What I'm curious about though is now that they've got all these numbers, all these all-stars, when they go on tour, who's dancing these parts?
The other contestants.
They'll teach the contestants those pieces.
There's nobody else is Mark. Who's going to dance for Mark? Who's going to do that number with her?
Tucker could do that.
Yeah.
Who's going to dance? Who's going to dance? Who's going to take comfort spot and dance with Jasmine? Like some of these things, I'm like,
I would just watch Jasmine do it
they'll
herself.
have oh gosh, the blonde girl.
Who's going to
Mandy.
Who's going to do the Twitch and dance with Fiction? Like I think like
Mariah.
it won't be the same. Yeah.
Oh, watch out.
Sorry.
I wonder because a lot of the really iconic numbers this season all had an all-star in them.
True. Like Travis and Amy.
Yeah, that's true.
But Tucker could do that number easy.
Mariah's not top 10 though.
They've done it in the past. I mean, the tours have.
Okay, I've never gone to see the tour actually. However, I'm just curious though. Like I'm like,
we have to go this year.
I want to go.
It's always a fun show.
Yeah.
It's always such a good show.
It's like November 26th or 27th in LA.
Yeah, it's like always the greatest like dance recital you'll ever go to, but with like extra like Hollywood pops and
as it should.
Speaking of dance recital, you guys, I went and saw Jake's dance recital last weekend, and he was amazing, and he better audition for season 11.
Did you just look at me really briefly, or was that just like guilt I felt because I was like I didn't go?
Oh no, it's fine.
Sia was there the night I was there. Excuse.
All right, you guys. Well, we have 7 minutes. We need to get through this because I want to get to Neil. All right, let's skim over these real quickly. You have Amy and Fiction together. They both picked their favorite dance the entire season was with each other, which makes sense because they really lucked out. That pairing this season, they really lucked out. Nigel and Mary, they did their little thing where they danced.
Nigel's video when he hits that girl in the head, that was so funny.
I could have watched old footage of them. Like, forget that dance that they did. I could have watched the old footage and watched the two of them because it was kind of cool.
I hope it's on YouTube because I'm going to go home and look for more because Mary also was hilarious on the ballroom.
Nigel's kind of nuts. I love watching those videos. That was hilarious. Then I wrote down, what was this I wrote down? Movement Box. What was Movement Box?
Oh, the from Boston.
They were the beatboxers.
Yeah, that was cool. They came and performed, and that was actually just insane to me, and way better than the first time around, I thought.
For sure.
Then we move on to Amy and Travis. I wrote down, I wrote down best of the season, question mark.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought it was even better than the time they performed it a few weeks ago.
It's just an unreal number. It's a classic contemporary number from SYTYCD Dance, which is just Travis has given us so many, whether he's been in them or choreographed them. And then they did the all-star number of the Rock Lobster number. Yeah.
I loved that.
I thought it was fun.
So fun.
So fast.
Yeah.
and it was a Nappy Tabs number.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
They were all over this finale, everywhere.
Yes, they were.
I mean, they're incredible. Come on.
Well, what was it like to, have all the contestants and the all-stars together?
It was so much fun because we're working with the top 10 with that, and then 10 all-stars, and so we're all together on stage, just like having fun, goofing off, learning the choreography, but goofing off, and like just sort of like getting all of our personalities in one place. It was like the rehearsals.
How many rehearsal days did you have?
2.
Wow. Who's the strictest choreographer?
Me and Michael.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a contestant, it was definitely Mia was the one who like made me like break down a little bit. But other than that, I mean, I've never come to the point where like they've had to like
crack the whip. Yeah.
I mean, we're there to do this.
But you know who's like, because if you guys were like chit chatting, in between instruction, is there someone who like really turns around and gives it to you? Because
Tice.
It's tight. Oh, really?
And he'll go on and on. And oh my God. There was this one time.
Sorry.
Yeah, there was this one time we were rehearsing for tour, and I was sort of being a little bit of like a
brat.
Maybe. Well, because he did this shimmy, and I asked a stupid question, and he was like, "That was the stupidest question I have ever." And he went on to like tell that story about me and how not to ask stupid questions. Oh my God! It went on for probably about 10 minutes, and I was just
oh my gosh,
standing there in the rehearsal room, just taking it.
10 minutes of Tice's voice alone would drive me nuts. I'm just saying. I love Tice. Not my favorite choreographer.
Oh my God!
I'm not shy. I remember you saying I
But he creates some incredible pieces.
Oh,
He really does.
Oh,
And he
super
really
talented.
he takes everybody's strengths. He takes your strength and he's like, what are you good at? What are you good at? Let's do this, that. No, that doesn't work. Let's take this. All right, put that together. Okay, that works. Let's keep going. What else we got? What else
He's
we got?
obviously brilliant.
And
I
he's
just
very
can't stand his
collaborative.
I love him.
He's so strong as a dancer too.
All right, so let's wrap up the episode really quickly so we can have a few minutes with Neil.
The winners.
The winners, Fiction and Amy. A little bit shocked by this, but not Fiction so much, but Amy. But I was really happy for her. And
she got the most votes out of anybody.
Everybody.
And can I just say,
I don't think they needed to say that.
Yeah,
I thought it was
took
low
away from Fiction a
You
little
guys,
bit.
she had a fracture in her foot. I don't know if anyone knew
Really?
this. Yeah, she's been dancing the last 2 weeks with a fracture in her foot.
Amy?
Oh my God.
But what we've heard from everybody who's been in the studio this season, who's met her or worked with her, they all say that she's their favorite. Everybody. Every single person who's been here as a guest, they're like, we absolutely love her. She's incredible.
Yep.
I also want to say this quote really, really bad because Nigel said this.
Oh, I like this.
He said at the end of the show, he said, the best way to predict the future is to create it for yourself. I thought that was poignant, and it really wrapped up the entire show very well. We have to wrap up our show. We've got about 3 minutes. So let's try to stay on task, and let's ask Neil some questions from our viewers and listeners.
Jonathan, these are going to be speed round.
Here we go.
What has been your favorite routine from this season?
This season, I like Mark and
Jenna.
Yeah.
Pony.
All right. Malak from Saudi Arabia. Where do you see yourself in 20 years?
20 years. Making films and television shows and teaching kids how to dance and get to where all of us are. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Jordan, favorite choreographer and dancer to work with?
Favorite choreographer, Mandy Moore, for sure. Favorite dancer, Melanie.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, from Anonymous, what's your ultimate dream gig?
Ultimate dream gig. To remake a Gene Kelly film.
Oh, gosh.
Good answer.
That's awesome. Another anonymous one. Is it hard to stay in shape as a dancer? What are some good core exercises? Sit-ups.
Tons of sit-ups. I just started doing CrossFit maybe 5-6 months ago, and I've definitely put on a little bit of mass, but I've also done some moksha yoga, which I guess is moto yoga, I don't know. But that keeps me flexible, and the CrossFit keeps me strong, and dance classes keep my brain learning choreo.
Nice.
Yeah, all the choreo. And one final question. When you aren't an all-star or dancing, do you teach classes?
I do. I occasionally teach classes. Out here in LA occasionally, and I taught some at BDC in New York, and then I'll travel around.
That's Broadway Dance Center, if anyone doesn't know.
Yeah, BDC.
The lingo.
I teach on Courtney Galliano's dance convention as well.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Speaking of Courtney Galliano, we are doing the MS Dance Walk on Sunday, September 22nd. You will be there as
I
well.
have not signed up for yet.
Yeah, you're going to sign up.
Me and Kristen are signed up.
Yeah, we are signed up. It's Team AfterBuzz, and I'll tweet out the link. All of us will tweet out the link. We'd love if you can donate $1, $5. It goes to a great cause. We want to really support Courtney.
And before we head out, I just want to just thank you for being here. You're awesome.
Thank you for having
me. You're a fantastic
Thank you so
guest.
much.
So much fun.
Where can all of our viewers and listeners follow you on social media?
At Neil Haskell, 2 L's Haskell, on Twitter, and Neil Haskell fan page on Facebook.
Awesome.
Cool.
Chloe
Yeah.
West.
You can find me, Twitter and Instagram, at Chloe WestX. And everybody should pressure So You Think You Can Dance for Jake for season 11.
Yes.
I'll say.
Let's go to Jake then.
What?
Let's go to Jake. Where's your social media?
You can find me on Twitter at
Talk about me.
Jake_Dupree and on Instagram at Jake Dupree.
At Kristyn Burtt and redcarpetcloset.tv is my website. Jake and I, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, Dancing with the Stars starts next Tuesday.
You guys check them out. Also, you guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all my social media, _AJ Gibson. My website is ajgibson.tv. I want to thank AfterBuzz, thank Neil, thank all my co-hosts for a fantastic season. You guys are amazing. I love all of you. I love my new friends, Chloe and Jake. Kristen, great to have you back as always. Until next season, you guys. See you later.
11. Season 11.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.